Hey guys, we got a sneak peek video today. I want to be showing you guys the Toseven motor. It's the 1000-watt version. I believe it's the DM01. They have two different versions coming out. One's a 1000-watt, one's a 750-watt. I'm going to be showing you the 1000-watt. It's right behind me, right behind you, right in front of me. I'm going to just give you an overview of it, show you it, give you my brief first impressions of it, and kind of show you what the display looks like, how the motor looks, all that. And if you guys want one of these, head to johnnynerd.com. I'm going to be having these in stock. Depending on when you're watching this video, I either already have them in stock or hopefully very soon. I'm working with them to try to get these. They're still not done with production as of now, as of when I'm filming this. So I'm trying to get these as soon as possible because these are pretty interesting. All right, so you can see here, this is the motor. And I'll just show you. This is what it looks like on a bike. Looks just like a standard Bafang, Tongsheng. So you can see it's still going to have the standard bundle that you're going to have to deal with, but it's pretty much standard. The one thing I like about this motor, it's a torque sensing motor. So there's a torque sensor in here, but you could also switch it to be a cadence sensor. So some people are like, I want a cadence, I want a torque. This motor, you can switch it supposedly. So we're gonna make sure that it's on the final version, you could still do that. But let's see, that's huge. That's huge for a lot of people. The other thing is that it's gonna have a gear shift sensor on it. So a torque sensing motor with a gear shift sensor on it. Another huge thing. What else is to not like about this? They've told me that this is not gonna be the final casing design. This is gonna change. They're gonna put heat sink in here, so there can be cooling fins, things like that. So expect this to look a little bit different, but this is roughly about what it looks like. It's about the same size as a BBS HD. I'd say it's maybe even a little bit bigger. And I will say that the size, it feels as torquey as the BBS HD, which is really nice. That was one of the big things that I was worried about because the Photon is a much smaller motor and it feels like it. It needs a lot higher RPM to get that same kind of torque or grunt that the Bafang has. Bafang just feels more torquey than the Photon does because of that size. You know, they say there's no replacement for displacement, and it's the same thing with electric motors. This thing is beefy. You just saw it. It's a beefy motor, so it's gonna have some torque, which is good. I'm not afraid of having a big motor. People are like, I want a little tiny motor. That's fine if you're not really doing a lot of hard work, but I like to do, trailing or hauling trailers and going off-road and climbing steep hills. If I see a super steep hill, I'm like, let's see if I could climb that. So I like having a big motor. I like that it's switchable between torque sensing and cadence sensing. Well, I like that they're going with HIGO connectors. I'll give you a little bit. I'll show you what the display is going to look like up here. So here, this is what the display, this is what your little toggle switch. It's the standard Bafang throttle. Not crazy about that, but you're going to be able to, swap this out and get different ones. So that's really nice. Nice toggle switch. Feels, nothing special, but nothing cheap really. The display, right now there's only one option, but they are going to have a couple options. I'll show you this is kind of cool. There's a test mode here. Allows you to test everything. Shows you what's going on, like if you're riding it. You can see if everything's working and how it's working. Like if your throttle, if I hit the throttle, you see the voltage. So you can see if you're having any throttle issues. That's going to be really nice to self-diagnose stuff. Oh, hey, my brake sensor was off. That's why I wasn't doing this. Or my shift sensor was off. That's why that's not. I like this, that it's got a motor temperature on it, controller temperature, and the ambient temperature. So that's really, I like that. You can change the skin, font color. So yeah, it's pretty cool. You could get into the menu system. It's quite in depth. I'll show you. Got to do it on startup. So you can kind of see there's tons of sub menus in this. I was kind of quite surprised. It's a little overwhelming at first because there's a lot of sub menus in here. So if you want to kind of get in there and just really dial this thing in, I think this is going to be a display that's going to allow you to. It's kind of small, but for some people, you can see that's the size of my hand. It's kind of small, but for the most part, I think it's going to be just fine. See, there's tons of So far, I really like it. I've only used it briefly. This is just a test unit, so I don't want to give like a performance test or anything like that just yet because it may change. But I will say this thing will keep up with the BBS HD. It's the voltage. The voltage is a little bit more universal. I think it's like from 36 to 70 volts is what it'll accept. I got to confirm all that stuff. But the max voltage is up to 70 volts on the 1000 watt, I know, which is, you could use a 60 volt battery essentially, or at least, you know, not have nearly as many problems with over voltage errors or under voltage errors. This could be, I don't want to say this is the Bafang killer because everybody comes out with a new motor and says it's the Bafang killer. Photon was supposed to, the Tongsheng was supposed to. So I don't know, but I'm really excited about this motor. I think that this could be a real winner. And obviously we're just gonna wait and see what the price point is when it's delivered, when it hits land. That's gonna be the biggest thing. If they could come in under Bafang, yeah, it's gonna be some real trouble for Bafang, I think. So anyways, tickle me impressed, tickle me curious to see what this is going to be long term. You know, I always like to give a motor about a year after it's hit the market for like real reliability, long-term usage, things like that to kind of hit the market and for us all to kind of know how good a motor actually is. Any motor can look really good on paper, but after you've had 10,000 people use it of all different skill levels and let's see how it holds up, then we'll kind of know our answer. But anyways, keep an eye out for johnnynerd.com. I'll probably have these up on the website soon, so you could sign up to be notified when they are in stock. Yeah, all right. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.